Good evening, mate. We're recording.
Cool. Here's the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all you fabulous folks out there in podcast land, welcome to the show that's spicier than a jalapeno on a roller coaster, sweeter than a marshmallow dipped in chocolate, and crazier than a squirrel on an espresso binge. I'm your host, Lewis Williams, and today I'm joined by my partner in crime, the one and only Peter Main. Together we're here to tickle your funny bone, massage your comedy cortex, and take you on a sense of wild, unpredictable roller coaster rides through the world of absurdity and laughter. Now, you might be wondering what it takes to make Seasoned Humour different from other podcasts out there. Well, simple. We got the secret sauce. It's not just humour, it's seasoned humour. We sprinkled our conversation with more wit than your grandma's secret spice blend. We've aged our jokes to perfection just like fine wine. So get ready for humour that's been marinating in the craziness of life, slow cooked to the saucepan of friendship, and served with a side of absolute nonsense. Hello? Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll have a big tasty meal. It's a 100% beef patty, cheese made with emmental onions, juicy tomatoes, and a unique smoky flavoured sauce, all nested from a freshly toasted bun. That is my meal. So big, tasty, large, Coke Zero, and I might have some chicken selects on the side. And I'll tell you what else I'll have. I'll have one of the limited time only caramel waffle lattes. Thanks. Bye. Right, that's it, folks. We're ready for episode number 9. See you on the other side. How about we get a sponsor deal after that sort of caliber of intro?
I was, yeah. I was thinking, have we got a sponsorship deal and he's not told me about it?
No, we like trying to get one. I thought McDonald's would be a good pitch. That's our pitch.
that was a very big free plug.
I've listened to the podcast though, and at the start of them they have the intros with the ads, don't they? So I thought if we like plug McDonald's, we might get free Big Macs.
Free Big Macs, be nice, wouldn't it? It's not like we're trying to lose weight or anything like that, or trying to be healthy.
I don't know. I reckon if we just had I'll just have one a day.
One a day helps you work, rest, and play.
Yeah, that's Mars, isn't it?
That's another plug.
What was there? What does Snickers used to be called?
Marathons, wasn't it? I think it was marathons.
Do you remember the advert?
I don't remember the advert
and the guy ran across the bridge.
No, it wasn't. Really? Was it?
Yeah, it was a guy running across the bridge. I can't remember if the bridge blew up and he was like running away from it, but he was on a bridge running. I'm sure he was.
I don't remember that. I don't even remember it being called Marathon. People used to say, "Oh yeah, like remember the days when Snickers were called marathons." I really don't. I remember when Starbursts were called Opal Fruits. Yeah,
that's another one.
But I don't remember. And what else changed its name over the?
Do you remember when Yorkie did "This is not for women"? They wouldn't do that these days, would they?
You couldn't get away with it.
That marketing plan.
It's not for girls.
Not for girls. And they go, yeah, that's a great idea. They just get sacked these days.
It's like the Tango advert as well, isn't it? The Tango advert with a bloke running down the road with the big orange hand. And he's, why, hey, man? And he's like slaps his, and they slap the Tango man slaps the person or waves his big orange hand in the face, doesn't he?
Why is it? 7-Up, and they always have the Fido Dido man. And they used to sell like t-shirts and stuff, didn't they, with Fido Dido?
Yeah.
It always makes me really happy when I see Fido Dido.
Why did they stop him?
I don't know. It's probably some sex scandal or something, wasn't it, these days?
Yeah, let's not bring up that. Let's not bring up that in a minute. Jesus, yeah. The biggest scandal going on in the world at the moment right now. I'm sure they just pick random people sometimes just to start.
Oh, but the Russell Brand thing.
Yeah,
I really like him.
I don't want to really talk about it because I think it's a really sore point in a minute. he's had his moments, hasn't he? Let's just say that. But it's like
He's one of those controversial people, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and it's probably something not to be discussed on this podcast because we might get sued. You imagine that the first thing we've ever done, and then we get sued for it. We did it all.
It's those dads with the stupid gorilla. Get rid of him. Should we just go back to talking about chocolate bars?
Let's talk about chocolate bars. Oh, seriously, how's your week been anyway?
Well, hang on. If you had to list your three, what's your top 3 chocolate bars?
My top 3 chocolate bars.
Don't rush it.
Don't rush it. So, I'll tell you my favourite is a Star Bar. Do you know
Star bar.
Do you know what a Star Bar is?
The orange, the blue and orange.
It's like blue and orange. It has like it's got peanuts in it. It's like a do you know like a boost bar?
Yeah,
It's a bit like a Boost bar, I think, with peanuts in and stuff like that.
I like Boost.
I think it is. I'm sure it is. Do you know what? But that is my favourite. Like when Key goes out, if she comes home with a Star Bar, I'm a very happy man. It's one of my favourite. That is my all-time favourite chocolate bar. And
Such an easy catch.
Yeah. Bearing in mind, as a kid, I didn't even like that chocolate bar as a kid. My favourite go-to chocolate bar when I was a kid was a Crunchy.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Was always
so
a
was
Crunchy.
Crunchy number 2?
Crunchy's probably my number 2, and then my third is probably a Dime Bar. Soft on the outside, crunchy on the inside. Armadillos.
When you go to IKEA, you buy the bags of them.
What?
Remember the big bags of them in IKEA?
Yeah. I haven't done for a while. I not got an IKEA near me now, but we used to get them all the time.
You like go to IKEA and you buy like some side tables that you're going to put together in like 6 hours, and then you get to the till and they're like wiener and some Dime bars. I can have a bag of wiener, a bag of Dime bars,
and then you got so when I spoke about my paper round before. When I used to do my paper round every morning, I used to buy a Yazoo strawberry milkshake.
Oh, the milkshake.
Yeah, strawberry milkshake and a Dime Bar every morning.
So what is it? It's
Star Bar,
Crunchy,
Dime Bar. So
they're all quite hard in the middle, aren't they?
Yeah, I like hard sweets. Like I like them sort of things. I'm a bit of a
not a Turkish delight man then.
No, not them sort of things. I think are too sickly.
Mine would be Lion Bar, Yorkie, and I'm going to join you on the Dime Bar. Dime Bar's a really good shout.
Yeah, Dime Bars are up there, definitely up there. They're one of the best, I think. It's a funny old chocolate bar, isn't it? Really, because I never thought I'd like it. I always remember the advert when he used to talk about armadillos. And
armadillo,
but that was probably my favourite. Was like he's one on my top 3, definitely on my top 3.
When you said about the Yazoo, my favourite was the Mars.
My kids love that now.
Milkshakes.
My kids drink that now. They love it.
That is the one. Literally, that is the one.
What makes you say it's the one though?
Because when they're cold, I don't know. It's just like it's liquid Mars bar. What else would be better than that?
Did you ever have a Mars bar in
Batter?
Have you ever eaten one?
No, never.
I've never tried it. I've never tried it. Maybe it's something that we could try on the podcast one week. Like both go and get Mars bars like from the local chippy, deep fried, and then bring them back.
I said before though, we should do like bugs or something. You were like, nah, but battered Mars bars, we could eat. I'd smash a battered Mars bar. I'd eat like 5 of them in a row.
Yeah, I'll bet they're nice. It's just like a battered sausage, but with Mars bar in the middle.
When you have a bowl of cereal, do you have like a snack when you have like a bowl of cereal?
What? While I'm eating cereal, there's a snack on the side.
I mean, you break the unwritten law of it's not for breakfast, and you're like,
I'll have a bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've a few times I've had it. So did you ever see? There was a Family Guy episode where Peter Griffin goes into a hotel and he goes, breakfast for dinner, and they've got all cereal things lined up on the
I haven't seen that.
And he goes, breakfast for dinner. He makes a phone call and he phones up Lois and goes, and she goes, don't even say it. He goes, they've got breakfast for dinner here. Why can't we have it? Like, but one of my friends at my school used to have that years ago. That was like one of his things, and you go around the house, and it was like a bit of a novelty. My mum always was like a meat and veg type of person, but when you go around to one of your friends' houses and they have that different dinner, or their mum lets them have whatever they want, that used to be the best thing.
What's the worst experience you've had when you've gone somewhere and they put food in front of you and you're like, I just can't eat that, but you kind of have to eat it because like you're in that environment?
Okay, so when I was about 14, I think it was, I went to the outdoors with my school on a skiing trip, which, by the way, was one of the best skiing trips I'd ever had.
Very up and down.
But we went to our hotel. We used to obviously eat food in there, all the kids from the school, and they brought out these burgers to everybody, and like everyone started eating these burgers, and someone said, this burger doesn't taste right. So he asked what the burger was, and I hadn't got mine yet, and it was a horse burger. And do you know, when you look at it, and I was like, I can't eat this. I just cannot eat this. It is at that age, I was a food fiend as well. I loved my food. I'd eat anything, but I just could not eat it, and I kind of was forced to eat it because we wouldn't get nothing else to eat.
Did you eat horse now?
No way.
Why?
Because it's just not it's not a normal meat to eat. I don't think it's the same as a lot of people eat boar, don't they? Like, and stuff like that. Boar, deer, like you get these game meats, don't you? What they call game meat, which is where people have been out shooting. And then
do you eat a duck?
I've eaten duck. It's not about the duck. Duck's nice when it comes from a Chinese restaurant.
The crispy duck. Did you mean the crispy duck?
The crispy
pancakes.
Duck. Yeah.
Oh, that is the best meal ever.
It is. You can't hear the planes taking off. They've inconveniently started taking off while I'm talking.
I can hear it. I wonder what it was. I thought you were just doing Ubering.
God's sake! I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sitting here thinking, the poxy Americans are taking their planes off. Like, it's 8:30 at night. They've been doing it all week. They've been doing it all week. Anyone think they're preparing for a war or something? It's doing my head in.
Is there? Well, they have got a war. War is happening at the moment, isn't it?
It's doing my nutting, to be honest with you, all week. But the thing is, sorry.
Go down there in your dressing gown and your slippers and say, listen, pal.
Walk up to security.
Let's fly in. These jets things.
I had a bit of a moan up the other day about this, right? And I said to me and Key were talking about it, I said, do you know what really irritates me with it? Is they seem to leave it. We have the school holidays. We have 6 weeks of school holidays. They don't fly at all during the school holidays. Then all the kids go back to school. It's blazing hot. It's been really hot. We've had all the windows open. And then they decide they're going to start night flying. Why are you night flying now? Why don't you...
They're hunting for aliens, aren't they?
Oh, it's so annoying. Did you see that alien the other day? Just talking of that. Just changing the subject completely.
What do you mean?
Did you see that thing in the news about that? Like the suspected alien. I didn't read the whole article. I just see the pictures. I made assumptions that someone had found a real life ET.
What? I don't know. What happened? What's the story?
So there was a I thought you might have seen it because you like that sort of stuff.
Was it the one on the plane?
The one on the plane, the alien.
It was a lady on a plane, and she said she went mental, didn't she, in America? And she was like, "I need to get off here. I can't stay on this plane. That's not a real person." And then like she like literally was kind of kicking right off.
It may have been. It may have been that. it may have been that one. I just see this picture of this like alien, this like ET looking alien, and then just assumed. I made my own story up in my head as to what it was. I looked at the picture. I looked at the picture.
Alf the alien.
Yeah. I looked at the picture and thought, I know what that is. That's an alien that someone's found. And then I see a few pictures floating around like the internet and on Facebook about it, but I never read the whole story, so I just assumed.
I think like I want aliens to be like the big-eyed, long-fingered like ET. I'd be really disappointed if they turn out and they're all like hairy like Alf the alien, or
they look like us.
Yeah, that'd just be boring, wouldn't it?
That'd be just, well, I was the same. I always wondered, like, you know, this is the great thing about films, right? People's imaginations when they write films, they seem to sort of be able to write a book or write a film, and imagine what events would be like. And I know it's fiction, and I know people are gonna say, but that's clever writers or clever imagination. But I always think, you know, like,
what if it's real?
Yeah, what if it's real? What if it's actually that person has seen that in their life, or they're a time traveller? Because I do believe in time travelling. I think time travelling's I think there are people out there that can time travel.
Well, that's been scientifically proven, isn't it? Because Einstein proved time travel in string theory, I think.
But I believe there's people out there that do it, because it's a bit of an oddball. It's not like you see someone on the news disappearing off in time and then coming back with like the Mona Lisa when it was first painted. Or
imagine you could time travel and you were still late though.
And you're still late.
You're like, listen, you're just taking the piss now.
Yeah, you still rock up late.
You're never late. And you've got the power of time in your hands.
But there's like there's all sorts of things out there. I do think to myself, like,
how would you want to time travel?
How would you want?
Would you want to have like a watch and you can just like change the time and that's how? Or would you want to go into like a shuttle, or would you want to like just sleep and then wake up and it's?
No, I think it would be cooler, like you just said, if it was like you had a device or something and you could change the date on your watch, or you had a DeLorean and like got in a DeLorean.
That is the best film ever.
And you got into that, and then
he got in trouble, didn't he? Because he lost the DeLorean, didn't he? So when you lose it, you're stuck there. That's the only problem.
Well, like in the Wild Wild West.
When
they went to the third one.
Yeah.
But like there are things out there. It's like magicians. There are certain magicians that I know it's all sleight of hand. A lot of it's sleight of hand or imagination, or they draw you into something with special lighting and all different tricks. But there are some out there that I watch and I think, how do you do that? Like how physically do you do that? Like if you're in an audience at a live show, I can get how you could get distracted because you're there and you're in the moment, aren't you? If you're watching on TV and you've got a camera staring straight at the stage and you're watching kind of everything going on, and then something happens, how do we know that he hasn't
time traveled previous
and done it, or done something, or time travel while we're sitting there watching?
But it's because, well, I'll give you a scenario. I was on holiday and I was in a Chinese restaurant and this magician was there, and he came over and he had like these spongy balls, and he put this like red spongy ball in my hand and he said, close your hand. So I closed my hand and I was squeezing, as tight as you can, like you would do. And then he said, open your hand, and they'd gone. And then he said, close your hand again. And they came back. And I was like, how did he like do that? So that could be a time traveler. But the only thing is, like, why would he be in a Chinese restaurant doing it if he's a time traveler? You'd like to think he'd have bigger aspirations, wouldn't you? You would like travel through time and think, like, what I need to do is go and put a squidgy balls in like children's hands in Chinese restaurants. That's the way to take over the world.
That could be his plan. That could be his plan to do that.
He's just trying to like groom everyone before he becomes like a mastermind.
Or what he did, why at the same time, is he nicked a tenner out of your dad's wallet while he was doing it at the same time. So he didn't only
Who's laughing now?
trick you. So what he's done is he's actually been a really clever thief because he's time travelled back in time or forward in time or whatever way he's gone, nicked a tenner out of your dad's wallet. Imagine if he done that to 10 kids a night and he makes an extra £100 on the side.
I got in so much trouble on that holiday because I was a kid then, and we went to this like cowboy ranch place, and it was in the States, and it was really busy, and I was only about like 10, I think I would have been 9 or 10. And I went to the toilet, and my dad came, and he said, "Come here," and we were in the same cubicle because I think he was nervous about losing me because it was really busy.
Yeah.
So we had it. I went for a whittle, he went for a whittle, and then he went first, and he said to me, go for a wee now. He said you'll need one in a bit. And I went, I don't want one, I don't want to, and started like kicking up a fuss. And then as he went, oh fine, don't bother then. And as he opened the door, there was like people there looking, and all they heard was me in the cubicle. And I don't want to. And then I think he got a bit embarrassed, and then that was really awkward, and ended up being a little bit of a awkward situation.
Oh. But it could be quite. I mean, that's just what is the most awkward situation you've been in?
Most awkward situation?
Yeah, not obviously anything, but like something that you've done, not necessarily drunk, but just in your life, and you think, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. Like, that was embarrassing. Or like, I know we've spoke on this podcast previously about incidents with alcohol involved and stuff like that. But is there anything that you've had where that you thought that was an awkward situation?
Plenty, but like one that was quite funny. I remember I was in my first car, and I was having a domestic with my girlfriend at the time. And then there was this, you used to have like cars, used to have like one light brighter than the other when they used to put like the crazy different coloured lights in on the front of the car.
Yeah.
And this car was behind me, he was like revving his engine, he had like one light really bright. And I got out of the car, I was like, what's your problem? And then this guy, and like, I'm like 6 foot, and this guy gets out the car and he's like 9 foot 100. and I'm still on the curb and he's not. And I'm like, and he's like, what do you say? And I'm like, listen, mate, I said, what's happened here? I said, I've obviously made a really bad mistake, so I'm going to get back in my car and fuck off. And he just started laughing. So I got back in the car, and then she turns around and goes, told you you were a wanker. That was a little bit awkward. And I found out like a couple of weeks later, my one mate Tyrone, that was his younger brother, but he's one big dude, so I thought, oh, I'm definitely not scrapping him.
No, that's quite funny actually.
Yeah. I was like, you get out and fight him, he's massive.
you go and do it. Yeah. You go. It's mad, isn't it? Like,
I'm knocking the doors though.
It's like that reel that's going around, that bloke smashing the window or punching the window. Have you seen that? And they're like, and it's become like a real viral thing, and everyone's puts music to it and all that. But that guy was fuming, like absolutely fuming. What I would like to know is what led up to that moment, you don't see the leading up to that moment. You just see this guy get out of the car and they start smashing the window, like punching the window.
You seen the one when it's like road rage in London, and this guy's like in a van, and someone like says something to him, and he just gets out the van, and then he like throws his arms in the air and just starts going, like he's a superhero, and everyone's like, what is going on? And then this other guy just sparks him out.
There's loads of videos like that though, isn't there? Like that's quite embarrassing, isn't it, as a person to act like that, and then you do so, and then do something so stupid. I watched some of these videos. So I was walking back to the train station the other day from this new job I'm on, and I have to walk. It's right by the O2, and there's a little Tesco's just outside. And do you know these people that film like moments? So like, do you know, I don't know what happened, so I can't tell the story what happened. But I was thinking about what would I do if I was that guy? So something's happened. This guy has got his phone in the security guard's face, and he's like going to him, well, why did you think that he stole the whatever it was? He clearly didn't. Like, you could see he didn't. Blah blah blah. The bloke's in a suit. Like he's probably early 30s. The bloke, so he's fairly old. Looked like a little bit of a bit of a druggy, if I'm honest. But I shouldn't. I can't really comment. But he looked like he was that sort of way. But he had his phone in the guy's face. And I was thinking to myself, if I was that security guard, what would you do at that moment? Obviously, bearing in mind you've got a save face because you're a security guard. So he's a security guard for Tesco's. Obviously, that Tesco's must get robbed quite a lot because they've got a security guard at 1 o'clock in the afternoon at the Tesco's. So it must have a few problems with shoplifting. And I was thinking, what would I do if that person was holding the phone in my face? Because I think I would get quite angry.
Crazy stuff happens though, doesn't it? Crazy stuff happens in like places like that. Like Amy used to work in like a clothes store near us, and always used to get like pickpockets in there. And I think the worst one she said was a transit van reversed up to the front door of the shop. Two guys just got out in balaclavas, just emptied a load of jeans into the back of the van, and then just drove off. But no one does anything because they tell them not to do anything when that happens.
But that's understandable. I get that. It's like if you see all these petrol stations getting robbed, didn't you, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's not so much over here, but more so in like America and stuff at late at night. But you see them just go like put their hands up and they take whatever they want and then they disappear off into the night, don't they? But in that sort of situation, I just thought all I could think about was if that was me, I could imagine myself losing my temper after a minute. I'd give the guy a few chances to take the phone out of my face, and then that would be it. I think I would
drop the net on him.
I think I would. Honestly, I think I would have just.
I got a funny one to tell you. Me and Aim were going to Cardiff before to watch Jack Whitehall.
Oh yeah.
We were a bit early, so like we just went for a little walk around the shops first. And I think we got like a coffee or something. And then she used to work for River Island at the time. And we sat on this like bench outside River Island in this like shopping mall. And then there was like some shoplifters going on. There's a woman shoplifting or something.
Yeah. And
then because she worked for me, she goes, I'm going to go in and tell him. Like tell the shop that that's happening. I was like, oh, nobody likes a hero. No one likes a hero. What are you doing? And before I can say anything, she's like running down the road with a cape on. And then like she went in to tell him. And then like I'm walking towards her, I'm like, I'll just a bit of moral support, just in case she gets like taken down. And then this shoplifter like looks at me, and it was like a woman I'd say like about 40, and she looked like she wasn't having the best day. And she just she literally put like 10 coats in her pocket. And then she goes, what are you staring at to me? I said, I'm looking at you, love, putting 10 coats in your pocket. What are you doing? And I think she was so stumped at the fact I just called her out to her face. And then she was like, oh, and then the next thing, all these like security guards start coming, but then all the kids come then, and the kids are obviously in on it because they like watch out for the shoplifters.
Yeah.
They all start to come. So I said, oh, now's a good time for us to go.
Yeah.
So like, then we went to Jack Whitehall. I'm like, that's a crazy start to the night. Like, hopefully it doesn't go any crazier. And then had a couple of drinks, get in. We watched the first act of Jack Whitehall, and then the interlude comes when you go and get a beer.
Yeah.
So we're up on the balcony, and I'm like, she goes, oh, should we go and get a drink? I'm like, definitely. So we go to get a drink, and we had to walk down the steps. But the Motor Point Arena in Cardiff's like, it's so old, so like it's not the best inside. And then we're like walking down the steps, and Amy goes, whoa, what? And then before I could say a blink, do anything, all I saw was like my wife doing like a full 360 roly-poly down this staircase. And the staircase was like, it must have been like 30 steps. And she went head first roly-polying down there. And then she like hit the bottom after she like bounced her head on every step on the way down there. And like everyone there was like, oh my God, this lady just died in the Motor Point Arena.
Jesus.
And I'm like, aim. And then she's coming. I feel so bad saying it. But like, it was like cartoon stars going around her head. And then I'm like, you okay? And then we went back in, and then we watched the second part. But I don't think she enjoyed it as much because she had like all bruises and lumps all over her body.
Bless her.
And then that's just like our regular like night out.
So you heroed it with shoplifters,
Yeah.
and then did somersaults down the stairs.
Yeah. crazy stuff. But the good thing is, we had to give our details for their accident book or something, and then they rang and they were like, "Oh, we're so sorry," and the rest of it. And everyone was going, "Oh, get compensation." I was like, "Compensation?" I'm like, "I don't really want compensation, but I'll definitely have WWE tickets for like whatever it was, SummerSlam coming up." So then we all went to SummerSlam or whatever it was called at the time.
Did you get tickets for it? They gave you tickets for SummerSlam.
Yeah, the guy who ran the motorpoint at the time gave tickets, and then we went and saw Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio. It was awesome. There was a guy there. Do you remember Money in the Bank? Do you remember Money in the Bank? You know, the briefcase?
Yeah.
They have like this wrestling event. It's called Money in the Bank, and they have a briefcase, and whoever has the briefcase is the champion. And I think
that's at
you
the
can
end
like
of
steal the briefcase. So they had these replica Money in the Bank briefcases for sale, and they were like, they must have been 200 quid. And this guy was going, "Oh, look, what are those Money in the Banks?" I was like, "That's definitely not for your child, is it?" That's how good in your collectible section. Yeah, I love the wrestling though.
It used to be back in the day when it first came about. When I first started watching it, I used to think it was brilliant. I used to play a game on, I don't know if it was my Amiga or if it was on my like Nintendo or something like that. And it was a WWE game, and it had Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, The Undertaker, and I think it was Jake the Snake.
Favorite wrestler off the cuff. Like 3, 2, 1.
The Ultimate Warrior.
Yes, he is my favorite as well.
I used to love it when he come running in, and it'd be
and he'd take the ropes, wouldn't he?
And he looked like, well, turns out he probably was on cocaine when he ran into the ring, because he died of an overdose, didn't he? Or he died of like...
That was recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
the last couple of years.
It was a few years ago now, wasn't it? But
was it cocaine or
I don't know.
I don't think it was. I
don't know, but he looked like he was on something when he used to run into the ring, didn't he?
I love the Warrior.
My all the American guys that we used to sort of hang out with when they were over here, Hulk Hogan, they're always like Hulk Hogan, the real American hero. And
that was the best intro song.
And they used to,
I am a real American.
Yeah, and they used to get it all the time. Every party we went to with them. Hell yeah, brother! They'd love that. They love it.
I liked Undertaker's always a cool one. I used to Tombstone Jensen all the time on his bed when he was younger. He's getting a bit big now, though.
Do you know what? Do you know what? When I realised wrestling wasn't real, when I What's that?
What you want about?
When I realised that wrestling wasn't actually real, or it was a bit more.
What do you mean? Not real.
Sorry,
Stop lying.
it's like
You'll be saying Santa's not real next.
But I can't remember who he fought, the Undertaker, and he brought this coffin out. It was in a really old, and they brought a coffin out, and it was made for another wrestler, but the Undertaker ended up being put in it. And I can't,
that wasn't the one when he fought?
I can't remember who
Kane.
it was. It might have been someone like that. But he had that little sidekick man. I can't remember his name. The little sidekick man.
What's his name?
And he looked like Death, didn't he? On like the whole thing. I can't remember his name.
Paul Bearer.
That's the one. That's him. And,
oh, the Undertaker.
and,
Do you know what something funny is though? I went to a wedding recently, and there was a magician there, and like we just talking about, I absolutely love magic, so I was like following this guy around the wedding as much as possible without him telling me to get lost because I've seen the trick 5 times already. And then I started talking to him out, so he says,
was she like Ricky Gervais when he goes, have you seen this bit? Have you seen this?
Yeah,
Is that what you
honestly, yeah. And then we were like, I kept on following him around. He was like, listen, he actually said to me one time, he said, oh, listen, mate, he said, you've seen this trick quite a few times now. Can you not be on the next one? Because everyone's like watching you, looking where it's going, and they know. I'm like, oh, really? And then he sat like food after, and so I was like straight to his table. I'm like, hiya. And he's like, hiya, mate. And then I started talking to him. But why he was double cool is because he had I think he thought I was a weirdo until we had a bond of wrestling because he was really into wrestling.
Oh.
And then we started talking about wrestling, and then we were like the best of friends. And I was like, I'm so booking you for my birthday.
Every year.
Every year.
It's mad, isn't it? Like you talk.
I was like, do you do the sponge ball thing? And he's like, what you on about, mate? Oh, the red sponge ball. All magicians know.
That's all sleight of hand, isn't it? It is all sleight of hand, but it's funny. There are some, but yeah, the wrestling was a bit of a thing back in the day, wasn't it? And it got a bit. I think it got a bit silly, sort of after a few years and that. I think I really stopped watching it when The Rock disappeared out of the
scene. He came back this week.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
That's weird.
he's been all around the place, dropping the people's elbow everywhere.
Today used to be brilliant. The people's elbow. I'm gonna have to watch it now. Watch him.
I've been quite a few. I absolutely love it. I love to go to WrestleMania. But they had one guy called Brodus Clay. I don't know if you've heard of him.
No.
And he was like massive guy. He was like Snoop Dogg's old bodyguard. High five Tim. I high five CM Punk. Well, I kind of think I high five. I might have just grazed his arm, but I called it a high five anyway.
Just about touched him.
I went and saw it once, and John Cena was in the ring, and I was literally ringside. I was going, Cena sucks, and he like looked at me and he was like, why is this grown man shouting Cena sucks to me?
Really aggressively.
I knew if I got any closer, he was like
spitting at him, like red and spitting at him. Cena sucks. Yeah.
I went to a signing before. I took Jensen to a signing, and the guy called Alberto Del Rio, and they used to do the signings in the Smith toy stores.
Yeah.
And he signed something for Jensen, and then I signed the figure, and then I give him another one. I was like, can you sign this for my other son who couldn't make it today?
Called Lewis.
And he was like looking at me really funny, and he was like, just signed it and didn't say anything. I said, any chance of a follow on Twitter? And he was like, no, mate. I think you get to a certain age and they're like, go away, you grown man.
Yeah, so let's just pack it in now.
Yeah.
Just pack it in. They don't do all that anyway, do they? They got all their team doing all that stuff. They don't have the time to do all that sort of stuff. They got people doing it for them, haven't they? Going on to chat AI or whatever it is, and getting people writing it for them.
That's why they're selling these boxing fights now, though, because I think the boxing's become more entertaining. Because people want the show, don't they, when they do it?
Like, it's all the build up to it, isn't it?
perfect example. Just one amazing boxer and just entertaining.
Yeah, it's all about the
People
show.
want to see him, don't they?
It's all about the build up, isn't it? It's the same with like what's his Tyson Fury, isn't he? He entertains before the. He's a good boxer. Don't get me wrong. He's a good boxer, but the whole build up to all the fights is always quite entertaining with him. And like, is it surprising when he's old man? He's like he is. He's called out Mike Tyson, and apparently that's now a fight that's going to happen. It's like
I got a funny one for you. My mate Miles, he is a heavyweight boxer, and he fought in Cardiff for a matchroom boxing event about over 6 months or a year ago. He was one of the heavyweight bouts. I think he's one of the first ones on, and he's a lump of a bloke. But he said buy tickets, so I bought a ticket, and I couldn't get there because I was working. So because he fought early, I couldn't get down there. And I'm sure he said to me, "Oh yeah, this is what time it starts." So I rang him, and I said, "I'm not very happy because I paid my 80 quid, and I couldn't go because the events didn't started too early and they changed the times." And I said, "I want to speak to Eddie," like joking around. This guy rang me from Matchroom Boxing. He had an Irish accent, and he was going, "Eddie's not available at the moment." I wish I could do an Irish accent. And I was like, I thought it was a joke. "Oh, are you taking the mic?" And he was like, "No." I said, "Oh, look," I said, "don't worry about it." I said, "Keep my 80 quid. I'm a massive fan of Eddie Hearn, but any chance of a t-shirt?" And he went, yeah, I'll get Eddie to sign one and send it out to you. I was like,
you didn't get one, did you?
Do you know what? I never chased it up because I didn't know if I was being wound up. But I think it was genuine. I kept his number. I got his number on my phone.
You phone him back and say, Hold on a second. We had this conversation. On my 80 quid back. It's now built up interest.
So if there's an Irish guy who's Eddie Hearn's assistant, that's the man.
If it might have built up interest.
You know what he said to me though? I said, "Can I have a signed Eddie Hearn t-shirt then?" And he went, yeah, you can. He said, "We got some from the AJ fight that was before." He said, "But the one thing is, I got to be straight with you." He said, "Eddie signed them, but they're like a print. It's not actually his signature." I'm like, oh, what a letdown. I think that's why I never rang him back. So what's the point of having a signature if it's not really in?
Yeah. Did he ask your address?
I think he had my address. I just want to come around and get my head in.
That's what this. He sent your mate round to kick your head in.
Yeah, Big Miles.
Oh, it's but yeah, there you're right. Sorry,
he won his fight. He hit the other guy so hard. We were watching on YouTube, and he hit this guy. The heavyweights, when you see him and it's up close, oh my days, you just wouldn't want to.
That's what they do though, don't they? The heavyweights, they're just one punchers, aren't they? And they sort of dance around the ring for a little while. So you watch two grown men dancing around the ring trying to jab each other. Then all of a sudden you get this the big punch, didn't you? That just knocks the other one out. It's
he would just put me to sleep with one punch. But you know when you like messing around with someone, and I was like, hey, like taking the mic, and then he like did something, and I nearly walked into his fist at one time, and I was like, that would have been really bad.
It would have been really bad. Yeah, you can imagine it. Like it's there's part of me that would like to know what it's like. I know you watch these videos with they're in the ring and they've got all the padding on, haven't they? And they're sparring with them and stuff. And
well, they reckon it's like being hit with a sledgehammer mildly, don't they? It's probably not the best. Have you seen that slapping stuff when they stand there and slap the crap out of each other?
I don't get it. Do you know what? I don't get it.
That's got to be dangerous.
I watch it because the slaps are not necessarily with the palm bit of your hand. They sometimes integrate the lower half of the hand in, and you watch them and you think that's not. Why would you train for that? Why?
It's not a pimp slap. It's like a Russian prison slap.
Yeah, it is. It is awful.
But it's I think Dana White's done something with, isn't he? It's massively entertaining though.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, when I see them videos come up, I skip them because they're not my sort of video. them videos. They're not really the sort of thing I like to watch.
I haven't liked any of them. I love the face off ones as well. You know, they have, before they fight and they have like a face off.
Yeah,
I love those videos. So funny.
They're the face off things are the like quite amusing. I think I was watching something the other day. I was watching something with Key, and they were talking about it was the Tyson Fury documentary on Netflix, and they were talking about his wife was talking about him standing up there in his pants, and she said it's so weird that two grown men are standing up on the stage like in their pants, like just doing a weigh-in.
He is Mahusiv, though, isn't he, Tyson Fury?
Oh, it's scary, isn't it? It is scary. As I say, it's a funny old sport. One of our friends did kickboxing, and we went and watched his fight. And unfortunately for him, he got caught a little bit wrong, and they had to stop the fight. He didn't get knocked out, but they had to stop it because it's amateurs. And because they suspected he broke his nose, they had to stop it. But during that night, they had the British Kickboxing Championship fight at the same thing. And I got to be honest, I thought when we was there, we was at like an underground fight club,
like in Lockstock,
because there was fully grown men of the two people like at the ring, like shouting for obviously their mate, and they were shaking the ropes and going, "Come on, like kill him!" Like,
you haven't been to a sort of illegal boxing fight though, or kickboxing fight until you go there and Frank Butcher's there in his aviators. Go on, Avi.
Go on, Avi. I want him down in the fourth round. I wanted like the.
Did you know? I watched a program on the making the snatch.
Yeah,
and they said with Bricktop, with those glasses. I think he turned up for the audition with his glasses on and did like his lines, and then Guy Ritchie said, "Keep the glasses," which I thought was pretty cool.
But he is cool. He's like the whole.
He's a brilliant actor.
I'm not gonna lie. Actually, this time last week we finished the podcast. We uploaded the podcast onto Spotify, and then
Tinterweb.
What's that?
Onto the Tinterweb.
Yeah, and we did that, and I actually went and watched Lockstock after the podcast.
That's the first one, though, isn't it?
No, sorry, not Lockstock. I went and watched Snatch.
Oh, Snatch is amazing.
I went and watched Snatch after the because that's got Bricktop in it, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Snatch
yeah.
It's not Lockstock. Snatch is the yeah. I went and watched Snatch after the and I watched, and you watch it and there's things in it you think they don't make films like that nowadays. They really don't.
No, that is a good one. When he goes, what's his name? He goes, watch the car.
Tyrone. Tyrone.
I thought you said he was a good driver. It's a big car.
He's got the bad.
I am a good driver.
We're not here to discuss film lines, but
what's that car?
It's like a Rover, isn't it?
Rover 600 or whatever.
Like
I don't know.
That is a car, isn't it? A proper.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's a great film, and if you've not watched it, you should go and watch it because it is there are some of the funniest lines in that film.
Especially if you're not British.
Yeah, there are some of the funniest lines in that film.
That's the first time we've done that.
What's that?
Of all the pods we've done, we haven't talked exactly the same time and stopped and then talked exactly the same time. That's the first time. That could be a clip.
It could be a clip. But amazing film. Absolutely brilliant. Anyway, it's well, I'd like a film like that to come out again. Like there's lots of films out there, like The Football Factories, and we've discussed them sort of films, like, but nothing like that has come out recently. I know they've tried to do like a few. Is it the League of Gentlemen or the whatever it is, the Kings Men or whatever it is.
whatever. I don't know what the name of the film is. It's the one that Guy Ritchie did when it's got what's his name in it? Colin Farrell.
Yes.
And he's the boxing coach.
Oh,
That man is what an amazing actor.
Oh, what film's that?
That's The Gentleman, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're right. It's really good film. We're gonna have to wrap the podcast up, mate. We're gonna run over our timings. I just noticed the time, and we were.
How long's we going?
It's been going for 50 minutes again. We just the time just goes.
Let's whack the time travel machine on.
Let's go back in time. But no, it's good. Do you know what? I actually needed that tonight. I said to Key before I come on, I said, I feel a bit, like I've had a really bad day, really bad week, and it's actually made me smile. I'm going off from the podcast with a bit of a smile on my face. I feel a bit more chirpy. So, been fun tonight. Been good.
Therapy session over.
Therapy session over. But as always, you can email us on seasonedhumour@gmail.com. I think the Twitter's live as well, Lou, that you've...
Yeah.
So you could always follow on there as well.
At Seasoned Humour.
At Seasoned Humour. If you've got any questions for us, obviously ping them over to us and we can discuss them online. But thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye from me.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye for now.